Oh man, I could go on my dissertation on targeting. We will save that for another week. Could be all taken care of. At least the penalty for targeting could be cleaned up rather quickly.
No, what they need to do, Mark, is they just
Maybe
need
I
to
will
go
off on it. Go ahead.
They're just going to suspend them for the whole year, Mark. That's what they're going to do. I mean, the NCAA, how consistent they are as a league.
Sure. And we'll be playing 7-on-7 by mid-season.
All right, I'll stop.
How about this, Ty?
Okay.
Targeting's a complicated thing. I want these guys to be as safe as possible, too. I'd love to have rules to make it as safe as possible, but it is football. It's a collision sport, not a contact sport. It's a collision sport, and these guys cannot alter their body in a split second. Okay, so all of that, let's table for the offseason and really look through it and try to get this down better. But the one thing that can be cleaned up immediately is let's not kick players out of the game. That could be implemented this week. We could have 5 phone calls, a phone call between the 5 conference commissioners or the 10 conference commissioners that say, okay, this is ridiculous that we're kicking out players that have no ill intent. We're kicking them out of games. Let's make it a personal foul. It's still serious. We want to treat it. We're going to have to deal with what it actually is, but that's complicated. That's for the offseason. But immediately starting in week 4, let's not kick these players out of the game.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a start. I think that's a start, because I think kicking these guys out for halves or the next half of the next game. Hell, Arkansas had a player where a suspension was upheld to the following season. Hayden Henry was suspended for the first half of the game against Rice because of a call at the end of the season. I don't know if it gets any more ludicrous than that, and why more people aren't talking about that, I don't know. I'm like you. I don't have a problem with the call, but the penalty is just too far, and it's bad enough where, I mean, everyone agrees. I think it will change. I do, because there's a lot of pressure on it. Then again, we know these leagues like to position themselves to look like they're doing what's best for the players and what have you. So maybe not, but it's just ludicrous right now. It's an inconsistent call too. It's not even consistent to begin with on the call. So I don't know.
The call's inconsistent and the implementation of the penalty is inconsistent. So that's the other issue I have, is not just the severity of the penalty, but the inconsistency. If you're going to kick somebody out of a game, let's say I don't get my way and it continues to be a penalty in which somebody is removed from a game, make it consistent the number of plays they're removed, the number of series, the number of minutes. If you commit a targeting penalty on the last play of the game, well, it's the last play of the game. You're going to miss the first half of the next week. If you commit a targeting penalty the first play of the third quarter, you're going to miss the rest of the game. You're going to miss you've kicked them out for a full game. It's not even consistent, the implementation of the penalty.
Yeah. I thought was it okay, so yeah, it is a full game, isn't it? I thought for some reason it was, if you committed the penalty in the first quarter, you were out in the rest of the half. I guess it is the full game, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. If you commit the penalty the first play of the third quarter,
right,
then you're going to get kicked out for
the remainder of that game,
and then the first half of the
next game. Yeah, that's right. It's ludicrous. I swear, when this was first talked about, I thought I remember reading that what was tabled was the idea of just kicking them out for, maybe plays or series or whatever. But, there's a lot of rules in the NCAA that don't make a lot of sense, but this is one that's no one likes it. No one likes it. And the NCAA likes to position themselves like they're doing the right thing, but it's not doing anything except hurting more legs. That's all this has accomplished. They've talked about it. Sam Pittman's talked about it. Other coaches have talked about it. There's more lower leg injuries than we've ever had before. That's all this rule's accomplished. So bravo to the conferences and to the NCAA. It's not doing anything. It's making things worse, maybe.